Pros and cons of traveling the world. Welcome in, much love, Trav here. I'm out here in Miley Beach on Oahu. Monday I'm headed to the Big Island. And if you've been following with me this year, it's been absolutely insane. Started off in California, went to Dublin, Ireland, went to Sweden, went to France, went to Spain, went to Amsterdam, came back to California, went to Texas, went to Mexico, down to Puerto Escondido, went to the East Coast, went to the South, came back to California, went to Vegas, went to Joshua Tree, went to Los Angeles, now out here in Hawaii, and gonna end my year. Man, still going to Phoenix, back to Vegas, up the west coast to Portland, ending my year in Seattle most likely. It's been absolutely crazy. The most traveling I've done this year, but not the only year I've done this. I've been doing this since 2014, so if you want to do this, there's multiple ways to do it, but in general, what are the pros and cons of doing it? Well, let's start off with the positives, and we'll move into some of the negatives, which are real, and some of the stuff that could be positive or negative depending on how you look at it. And for those of you who want to know how I do this and how you can do it, I have some other videos talking about how I make money, and I have a whole channel about online business called How to Internet Better and stuff, so you can check that stuff out. But this is like what the actual lifestyle is like. And again, there's multiple ways to do this. I'm just doing it my own way. But pros are, wow, you get to meet a lot of people. New places, you're forced to meet a lot of people as well. So you meet a lot of people when you're doing this. And it's really also liberating to meet people because since you're leaving and you leave soon, going to a new place, you are, for me, it makes it easier to be less restrained because of the way our brains work in society. When we're in a really tight-knit group of people for a whole lifetime, we want to be more, you tend to be more careful. So it really changes certain social dynamics, which allows you to basically meet more people. That's one thing. You get to see a lot of cool places and see different cultures, and that really opened your mind. That's helped me socially. It's helped me see different geographies and just change my conception of how families work and relationships work and friendships work and so on. So that's a really cool thing, is seeing all these different places, seeing these different things. And to me, those are the main ones. There's other ones, obviously. You have presumably you have some freedom that comes with this, and you can make cool social media posts and make all your friends jealous and stuff like that. Also fulfill a dream, which is a real thing. Like, man, I always wanted to travel and see all this different stuff and experience that. So those are the main things. Like, meet a lot of people, see a lot of cool places, learn a lot of things really fast. That's another thing. That's big picture though, is accelerated learning is a thing. To learn faster just because you experience more faster. Another thing is increased dependence on yourself, increased independence, because if you're traveling this much, maybe you're traveling with a team, maybe you're visiting places, you have people you already know, but presumably you're going to spend a good amount of time alone, or the people around you are going to change a lot, and the one constant is it's going to be you. So through all this, I've grown a lot as a person and grown a lot calmer in myself, and I had a lot more self-love just because I know that at least I'm going to be here. I'm really my best friend, right? Because if I'm taking off and going to the next place, maybe someone's coming with me, maybe they're not, but I will be there, right? So all that adds up to, in my opinion, tremendous growth in life, in character, socially, and skills that, I mean, everyone wants to travel. Like, that's the number one common fantasy of people, is wanting to travel. So you get to experience something that you can share with other people. So to me, those are a lot of the pros. Now let's go into the cons, some of the cons, and there's a lot of cons. So one of the cons to me is your relationships are either short or abbreviated or discontinued because, okay, again, maybe you're traveling with someone, but even if you're traveling with someone, the people you meet along the way, you either don't see them again or you don't see them until the next time, right? So I haven't been anywhere this year longer than a month and 2 months now. I've been at Kahumana here in Hawaii, 2 months, and I've spent a lot of, I was here last year. I've spent a lot of time in Arcata and in Seattle, places that I've been, and I see people that I know, but then I'm, it's discontinued, right? So it's like, peace out, I'll be back in 3 months, or peace out, I'll be back in 6 months, right? So I don't see people again. You won't see people again for a while or ever, right? Because maybe you don't come back to this place. Me personally, it's one of the reasons I like to come back, is it fixes this socially. At least you see people seasonally instead of like, you don't get to see them. And again, one thing about putting time constraints on stuff is like, there's less pressure. There's less pressure on relationships, because it's like, yo, this everything, well, I'm gonna be gone, right? It's not. That's just the way it is. But that's also a negative, because we really need stable relationships in order to be happy. So my thinking on that is, one, like, I'm not going to travel like this forever. Next year might be my last year doing this, because I'm getting fucking sick of it for this reason. All these abnormal relationships is annoying to me. But the way that I fixed it is coming back to the same places, often at the same times each year. So I see the same people, and the benefit of that is really expands my social network. Instead of just having one social network in one place, I've got, 5 different places, and I'm there throughout a couple year period. So negative, fucks with it's hard to have normal relationships, right? What other negatives? It can be, obviously it can be expensive. I'm not going to talk too much about that, because it doesn't have to be expensive, and presumably you have a lot of control of your own business, or you're making your own money and stuff like that, or you've saved a lot of money to make it happen, right? Some of you guys can't even do it because you're not in the right position. That's not a con of traveling the world, though, right? Another con I would say is it can be hard on health. It's not easy. It's not good for health to travel. I'm in great shape because I make it a huge priority, but if you have 8-hour time zone shifts, your body's like, what the fuck is going on? Just having an irregular sleep schedule reduces cognitive function by 21%. Going through an airplane and having a 16-hour time zone difference to Japan really fucks with the brain, right, and the body, right? You get sick from doing that stuff. Other health negatives, not just sleep, weird sleep stuff, but diet. Yeah, you can eat healthy anywhere, but everyone has their own specific needs. As you understand your body better, you understand what you need to eat better, and you get used to buying stuff in a certain place or preparing it in a certain way, and then you up and move to a new place and they have different food there, and you have to figure it out again, right? So a lot of your diet becomes irregular, which makes it hard to be healthy, harder than you would expect. It's easier to be healthy if you're in one place, because you can be very consistently sleeping and eating at the same time, and eating the same foods, and refine that. And one of my fixes for this is, well, for one, going out of my way. Like, you spend long enough time in one place, you can fix your sleep schedule. I don't know how negative it is to switch it up every once in a while, but it's a necessary thing to do. And then spend a lot of money on food and try to stay in places where the food's good and the food is healthy, right? Other negatives. Other positives. Assuming you have the freedom, like, you don't have to be in an office, you don't have to do all this bullshit, be stuck in traffic or whatever. Another negative, you may spend a lot of time in transit, right, traveling. Not just being somewhere, but spend a lot of time in planes, spend a lot of time on trains, spend a lot of time on buses, spend a lot of time in cars. Sitting there, that's not good for health either, and it's also not fun, it's boring, right? But eventually you're there and you're like, I made it, right, and that's cool. So, to me, those are the big pros and cons. Pros, overall, you're gonna have a period of tremendous growth. It's going to become more dependent on yourself, level up socially, get to see the world, expand your knowledge, become more cultured, have better understanding of society. Negatives, hard to have normal relationships, and it makes it harder to be healthy. And I'd say those are the main negatives. There's some other smaller issues, but overall worth it. Again, I don't think I'll do this forever. It's hard to do it forever without getting sick. but for a time it's pretty sweet. So let me know what you think. Which of these reasons resonates with you the most? If you want to travel, where are you going to go? If you've been doing this, what do you think? For you, what's the biggest negative? What's the biggest positive? Would love to hear that. If you have any questions about anything, want help pulling this off for yourself, let me know. You can write me and we'll talk. So appreciate you. Much love. Look forward to seeing what you have to say in the comments. Peace.